of these short videos explaining the positions within sun salutation. Uttanasana. Ut, as we saw earlier, is intense, and tan is stretch or to stretch out. So this just means intense stretch. It doesn't give us a great deal of other information, but this is actually a standing forward fold. Now, we're not going to do a great deal of explanation, and we're not going to have an anatomy section, because this is Uttanasana. Just turn through 90 degrees. So as with West stretch, it's all the way up the back, all the muscles of the back of the legs and up into your back, your spine erectors, etc., etc. This is exactly the same, but you just twisted through 90 degrees, or turn through 90 degrees. The great advantage of this is we use gravity. Whereas in the West stretch, we're stretched out and we have to move our body forward, and we have to actually use the muscles of our chest and our back, our upper and lower back, to move forward and then down into the stretch. With this one, we let gravity do that for us. It's fantastic. It's a really easy way. You establish your legs, you establish the firm base, you fold from the hips, and then when you're in the position, we're going to do a couple of variations. When you're in the position, you just hang there, and gravity will lengthen all the muscles that are required by this stretch. So we'll get straight into it. It's nice and easy. There's going to be a few variations. No anatomy, so yay. And Uttanasana. Okay, you should be at the top of your mat. For the sake of filming, I'm going to be in the center of my mat. We'll start with Tadasana. This is where we'll commence everything, as we said in the earlier video, and we'll do our Urdhva, our arms up, and then we're going to fold forward. I want to quickly just mention, we've touched on it before, anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. Basically, what you need to do, because you're a forward fold, you need to create a bit of space at the front of your spine. Your vertebrae are like this, and they have the gaps between them. In order to do a successful forward fold, you have to create a bit of space in the front of your vertebrae. And you do this by basically just sticking your ass out. That's it. That's your pelvic tilt. When you tilt the top of your pelvis forward like this, you're opening up, you're crunching the vertebrae to the rear, and you'll feel it. Then as you come forward, that releases, so you should have a fairly equal space between the vertebrae. You'll start with the space in the front of the vertebrae, and as you go into the fold, it will leave you that extra room so that you can achieve the fold. When we go into the fold, we have our arms by our ears in the Urdhva position, and we fold forward. So that's it. So come into Tadasana, focus on your lower body, remember the balance on your heels, the muscles in your legs, your chest up, shoulders down away from your ears into Tadasana. From here, Urdhva, then tilt the pelvis, and then we come down. Now, it doesn't matter where you come to before you have to start dropping. Doesn't matter. I'm still only around 90 degrees. So we come down as far as we can go, and then we drop, and we drop our hands. Now, in this initial position, what we want to do is let gravity take over. So if you're already hands on the floor, then you can lift them up. If you're not quite there yet, just fold your elbows, and all we're going to do now is just let gravity drop us towards the ground. You'll immediately feel the back of your legs, and in particular, if you've got that pelvic tilt correctly, you'll feel it in the hamstring. Always, you need to feel it in the belly of the muscle, not near the joints. So if you're doing the stretch correctly, you need to feel it in the very deep part of your muscle. If you're feeling it more at the knees, then you need to micro bend, just to give that very slight emphasis onto the muscles. Okay, so we're here, we've got the tilt, we've dropped down as far as we can go, and we're just going to hang. That's it. Now, when we're here, we're going to do a couple of variations. The first one is to put our fingers on the mat, if we can reach it, and we're going to straighten our spine. Now what this does is this accentuates that tilt on the pelvis, and you should get this concave lumbar region again. It's just to straighten out the spine a little bit. It doesn't matter if you're here, it doesn't matter even if you're up here. What we want to do is accentuate that the tilt on the hips and get that curve on the lower lumbar. And we just do this, we leave this just for a second just to really feel that stretch, and then we fold forward again. And again, it doesn't really matter how deep you are in the pose. What you're going to do with the weight off is to really feel that stretch in the hamstrings and let gravity. And you can be here for a number of minutes, it doesn't matter. You can play around. If you want to support yourself, you can move these around. There are positions, there are poses where we tuck our hands underneath our feet. The other one is to grab the ankles and widen the elbows. The other one is to grab the elbows even behind the legs and pull our head in. Now, we don't have to get there yet. All we want to do is we want to spend a bit of time, if this is the first time you do this, a bit of time just to lengthen those hamstrings. And like I said, if you come up every so often just to straighten, to put the curve into the lumbar, and then gently lower down, play with the position of your knees so you make sure you get stretch in the center of the hamstring, the belly of the muscle. And again, just hang and let gravity do its job. One of the variations is to walk our fingers forwards as far as they can go. Now this has the effect of bringing the weight of the body more onto the toes, and that, with the pelvic tilt, is really accentuating the muscle, the stretch in the hamstring. So go ahead and just walk forward. At any point, you have to be able to lift your hands because you're not putting weight here, you're not doing this, you're just walking forwards, and it's accentuating the stretch. Okay, so that's one of the variations. Go ahead and play with that. Another variation is to walk your hands to the side. You start going to the left, just very slowly, very gently, keeping the stretch exactly as it is. But you're going to get a stretch on the side body, which is very nice. It's a nice little release. We do it there, we hold for a little while. There's no weight on the fingers, but you are just turning the body and using the fingers to help you turn that body around. And back to the center, and to the other side. And back again. As with everything, let your body decide how far you can go. Take it nice and easy, don't strain, don't cause any damage. Then once we're back in the center, walk your fingers back towards your legs, straighten up the back again, do the same thing, accentuate that pelvic tilt, the lower lumbar curve, and then fold forward again, drop in, grab the elbows, and let gravity take over. Once you've spent a bit of time in the position, either if you're tired or if the stretch is becoming a bit too intense, or you just want to, first time you've done it, you want to relax, we're going to come out of the position very slowly and very carefully, okay? So you start here. Generally speaking, you'd put your hands down to steady yourself. Now, the first thing you want to do is raise your head slightly, because all the blood has been rushing to your head. You want to just raise your head slightly. Go for that lumbar curve again if you can. The next thing you do, very gently, very slowly, if you weren't already micro-bending your knees in particular, very slowly bend your knees. And you're going to bend them down to around about here. Then you take the weight off your hands, so your weight is fully on your legs, and you come up. Traditionally, we would bring our arms up by our ears again, and we would stand up gently like this, back into Uttanasana, down into pranayama, and then down into our Tadasana. But it doesn't matter, it's not super important where We want to safely come out of the position. We're here, these are under a lot of duress if you're not used to this stretch. So you want to very carefully, as I said, take the weight up, put the curve back into your lumbar, bend your knees, take all the weight on your legs and just very gently stand up again. And then just shake it off. Quick correction, this is not pranayama. Pranayama is a whole another thing which we may do videos on later. That's breath control. This is Anjali Mudra actually. It's also known as Uttanasana. It's like from the ready pose, Uttanasana, Urdhva Hatha, normally, especially in Iyengar yoga. So that was my mistake, please forgive me. So there it is, Uttanasana, nice and easy. As you can see, I didn't get super deep into the pose. I'm a little bit stiff this morning. I got straight to filming. I didn't actually do my yoga workout this morning. Twitch very bad. But again, it's really not important. The depth of the position is not important. As long as you're feeling the stretch in your body, that's all we need to do. If you can fold your body in half and get your head on your knee or on your shin and fold completely flat, that's fantastic. Still do the position because there's always more to learn. Moving around within the pose and exploring it is what it's all about with yoga. It's you, as I said, deeply personal. It's your practice. So that was Uttanasana. Next up, we're going to do Chaturanga and high plank. Again, should be a nice short video. But what you need to do is go back and do all of these exercises, all of these short videos I've been doing, and the ones previously, Paschimottanasana and Janu Shirshasana, etc. Keep doing them because we're building up the flexibility, we're moving our body in new ways, and the culmination of all of this will be our sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, which is coming in 2 or 3 videos time. Until then, carry on.